Hey everybody, back again, and good news. Spider-Man is back in the MCU, right? Thwip, 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 thwip. I was gonna make this video like a day or two ago, but decided to wait, and I'm glad I did because news just broke this morning that it appears a deal has been reached between Sony and Disney to bring Spider-Man back into the Marvel Universe for at least one more movie, right? So, um, awesome. Not surprised. This was. I think most of us kind of saw this coming, but good news nonetheless. And I'll get to it. But my original intent was to make a video on the Marvel movies, and just for whatever reason, like I know I'm super late, and Avengers Endgame came out months ago, and so I'm late on the Marvel train here. But the other day, I was just, I think maybe something popped up on YouTube. I saw a commercial on, I don't remember what it was. Who knows? I mean, we're inundated with Marvel stuff everywhere, right? But I was just like, dang, man, it's crazy. I mean, just look at like the movies that they're making now, and just how high quality they are, and how beloved they are, and it's just crazy. How do I even say this? It's just crazy to think that. Well, let me go back. If you were to talk to teenage me, 14-year-old Cameron, right? I was super big comic book nerd in the 90s growing up. Um, Thank you, that X-Men cartoon right in the 90s on Fox. I grew up watching that. That got me into comics. I had my cousin was always into it, and I was like, I'm gonna go. So I fell in love with comic book shops. Started buying comics when I was in junior high. My dad would give me lunch money every day for lunch. I never ate lunch. I just pocketed that money, and that became my comic book allowance, right? Because I had no other allowance growing up. So I actually, sacrificed my meals to go and get comic books when I was a kid. I still remember my very first issue, Uncanny X-Men 298. I actually remember that the other day. Anyway, it was a weird, not a great comic, but it had Gambit on the front. And so, and ever since, man, I was just, spent tons of money. That was my hobby. But like, I actually bought and read and collected comics growing up. So I had quite a lot. Oh my gosh, boxes and boxes of all these comics I kept, of course, ever since I was in junior high. So probably 20 years of comic books I had in these boxes. And ex-wife sold them all. Craigslist, $30. So we're salty. So we're gotta. So I don't have those comics anymore because they're gone. We were going through divorce, and we had a shed in our backyard when we were moving out of the house. I took everything I wanted of my own, put it into the shed where she wouldn't be able to touch it or mess with it. Not only in the shed, but I put it in the loft where it would be hard to get to, and specifically told her in text message, in writing, when you're clearing this stuff out, do whatever you want. Do not touch the stuff at the top because that's what I'm taking with me when I move out. Lo and behold, I'm at work and I get a text that everything is gone and not to worry about it. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, everything's gone, even my comics. And I was like, $30. You got to get that guy back. That's highway robbery. I don't know who he is. He's just some dude on. Granted, I don't read them or nothing, and I was gonna probably sell them. I got no room to store them, but like $30, come on, man, they were worth at least 100. Right? Oh man. Okay. What am I talking about? Oh yeah. Those Marvel movies. So yeah, I grew up, being big comic book nerd, like probably most kids in the '90s were, and we had like cartoons back then and bad toys and most of the video games are kind of crappy. And it's just, anyway, like I say, if you were to, show 90s me, like Avengers Endgame, to show 90s me Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd be like, who are the Guardians of the Galaxy? They weren't even around yet. Or, it's just crazy to me. I don't say how lucky, but like it's just so cool that these stories and characters that grew up living with as a kid, to actually see them now, like faithfully represented and so well done on the big screen. You can tell that Marvel, and they fire on all cylinders. Like, they respect the properties. They're doing these characters right. They're game planning years in advance for all these connected stories. It's like, oh my gosh, it's just so well done. It's so cool. And they're making a ton of money. And Marvel owns the world right now. People who don't even like comic books, they watch these movies. And they're so smart with how they market them because they're so interconnected, right? I mean, when this first started, this connected universe, tons of studios saw the success of Avengers and, tried to jump in and do the same thing, right? You got the DC universe. Universal was trying to make a monster movie universe, which had one movie of Tom Cruise. Anybody remember that? The Mummy? That fell apart. Sony has tried a few times to do their own Spider-Man universe, which I'll get back to in a minute here. But no one has really had the success of what Marvel has accomplished here, and I think most studios have kind of just given up, it seems, because it's too hard to do and have that consistency. It's just it's not easy. Marvel makes it look easy, but it's not easy, right? But you see one movie and you see one character, and then they make you have to go and see the next movie, even if it's someone you never heard of before. Well, it's all connected. You're gonna miss a part of the story. You watch these other 10 movies, if you miss this next one, you're going to be out of the loop, and everyone always talks about it. So it's like the marketing's been spot on with these things, and the casting has been great. Special effects now, you couldn't make these movies in the 90s because, the technology just wasn't there to do all the things that you expect from a comic book. And, the cat, it's just, man, I'm gushing, right? But again, it's just so cool to see this stuff done. And I remember when I saw Endgame a little bit late. I wasn't able to go see because my daughter didn't want to. She thought it was too scary. But I remember when I did see it finally, spoilers, sorry. I think I was in like morning the next day. I saw it late for like Tony Stark. It was really weird, but like when he finally, died, like I think that Saturday the next day, I was just like, it's a weird feeling to get from a movie. Like, it's a cool feeling to get from a movie. But it was just kind of like, man, he's really gone. Like, I've been watching this dude, Downey Jr. and Tony 10 years now. And it's like, I'm not going to see him again. Like, I felt sad. It was weird to get this feeling from a movie, a comic book Marvel movie, right? But anyway, like I said, so well done, and so happy now to see that Spider-Man's going to be back. Just because I'm a big fan on consistency and continuity, and so to build him up in these movies like they have these last couple ones, and then just like pull him out of the universe wouldn't make any sense. And what happened to it would definitely hurt both brands. So you knew they would eventually come to an agreement. This is negotiations. You play hardball. You don't always take the first deal. You could see, I kind of thought that a deal wouldn't be reached for another year or two, maybe. But it looks like, again, Spider-Man will be back or Marvel will produce the third Spider-Man standalone, and he's back for at least one more MCU movie. What that one will be, Marvel will probably be pretty careful with it. We probably won't see him back for a while. But it's just cool to see that, having bought X-Men, Fox, had the Fantastic Four and X-Men. X-Men was my favorite growing up. Folded into the MCU, and to see Spider-Man still around, it is really, really cool. And again, as a kid growing up, never in my wildest dreams would I expect to see something like this? And it's all just because they're so good at making these quality films, respecting the properties and doing the characters right, and having long-term plans and sticking to those goals. Hey, sounds a lot like a business, right? And if you're starting a business, same thing, right? Stick to a model. Don't sell yourself short. Consistency, quality, fan service, customer service, all important things to try and make your company profitable, to make your customers excited about you, keep them engaged. And Marvel is just hitting it out of the park every single time because of how, just awesome these movies are. I'm just totally gushing now. Oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, I got to go. This video is long, but I just kind of wanted, like I said, to kind of talk about the MCU and how cool it is to kind of be around to see these movies come out. It's kind of like the Star Wars for our new generation. Star Wars, what's Star Wars, right? And then again, with news that Spider-Man is going to be coming back, had to do this video today and put it out there to share because, hey, if Spider-Man's trending on YouTube, I want to be on the bottom of that trend, get a couple of views, right? All right, cool. I got stuff to do. I know you do too, and I'll catch you later.